You lived an entire life before the age of 3. You were born. You opened your eyes for the first time. You heard your mother's voice. You tasted food. You took your first steps. You said your first word. And you remember none of it. Not a single moment. Most people assume the answer is simple. Your brain wasn't ready yet. You were too young. But that's not quite right. In fact, the truth is far stranger. Because your baby brain wasn't failing to record your life. It was recording everything. The mystery isn't why you couldn't create memories. The mystery is what happened to them afterward. Scientists call this phenomenon infantile amnesia. Every human being experiences it. No matter who you are, where you were born, or what language you speak. The first years of your life are hidden behind a wall you can never fully cross. And for more than a century, scientists have been trying to understand why. The strange thing is that babies can form memories. We know this because of a famous experiment conducted by psychologist Carolyn Ruvi Collier in the 1980s. She tied a ribbon from a baby's ankle to a mobile hanging above a crib. The babies quickly learned that kicking their leg made the mobile move. Days later, when they were brought back, something remarkable happened. The moment they saw the mobile again, they immediately started kicking. They remembered. Even very young infants could retain memories for days or even weeks. So babies can learn. Babies can store information. Babies can recall experiences. The memories are real. And yet, by adulthood, almost every trace of them is gone. It's as if someone erased the first chapter of your life. The first clue lies deep inside your brain, a small structure called the hippocampus. The hippocampus acts like a memory architect. It's responsible for turning experiences into memories that can later be recalled. A conversation, a birthday party, the smell of rain, the face of someone you love. In adults, the hippocampus works with other regions of the brain to preserve these experiences for years or even decades. But during infancy, this system is still under construction. The connections required for stable long-term memory have not fully developed. Your infant brain could create memories. Holding on to them was the difficult part. For decades, scientists believed this explained everything. Then came a discovery that changed the story completely. In 2014, neuroscientists Paul Franklin and Sheena Jocelyn proposed an idea that sounded almost impossible. What if the thing building your brain was also destroying your memories? During early childhood, your brain produces new neurons at an astonishing rate. This process is called neurogenesis. Millions of new brain cells are added as your brain rapidly develops. Without this growth, your brain could never become what it is today. But every new neuron has to connect itself into an existing network, and when it does, it slightly changes that network. According to researchers, those changes may disrupt the circuits holding older memories. Experiments on mice revealed something surprising. When scientists increased neurogenesis, memories became harder to retain. When they reduced it, memories lasted longer. The results suggested a remarkable possibility. Your earliest memories weren't lost because they were never stored. They may have been lost because your brain kept rebuilding itself. Imagine drawing a picture on a wall while an entire house is being renovated around it. Walls are moved, rooms are expanded, hallways are rebuilt. Eventually, the drawing disappears, not because it was never there, but because everything around it changed. Your earliest memories may have suffered the same fate. But memory isn't only about storing information. It's also about understanding who the information belongs to. To form autobiographical memories, you need a sense of self. You need to understand that there is a you experiencing the world. Developmental psychologists believe this ability emerges gradually between 18 and 24 months of age. Before then, babies experience life,
but they don't yet experience it as a personal story. One famous test demonstrates this perfectly. Researchers place a small mark on a baby's nose and position them in front of the mirror. Before 18 months, most babies treat the reflection as another child. Then something changes. They touch the mark on their own face. For the first time, they recognize themselves. That person in the mirror is me. Interestingly, this moment closely matches the age when our earliest autobiographical memories begin to appear, which raises a fascinating possibility. Part of the reason you can't remember being a baby is because the version of you that exists today didn't fully exist yet. There was learning, there were emotions, there were experiences, but there was no narrator connecting them into a story. And then comes the final piece of the puzzle: language. Before you learned words, your experiences existed as sounds, colors, textures, emotions, and sensations. But without language, those experiences had no structure, no framework, no story. Once children begin speaking, and once parents begin talking with them about the past, their memories become far more durable. Language doesn't just describe memories, it helps build them. Without language, experiences are like water with no container, present for a moment, then gone. So what really happened to your earliest years? Your memory systems were still developing. Your brain was constantly rebuilding itself. Your sense of self had not fully emerged, and your experiences lacked the language needed to preserve them. It wasn't one thing, it was everything at once. Every human being carries this same mystery, a hidden world at the beginning of life, a forgotten chapter that shaped everything that came after it. And perhaps the strangest part is this: your brain wasn't failing when it erased those memories. It was doing something far more important. It was building you. The child who existed before the age of 3 wasn't simply forgotten. In a very real sense, that child had to disappear so that you could exist.